How do I get a tax ID or a tax number in Germany? So let's dive into it and welcome back to a new video here on G-Tax on YouTube. And my name is Roland Elias. I'm a German tax advisor and I will tell you something you have to know about the tax ID and the so-called tax number. First of all, there are two numbers related to taxes in Germany. The one is the so-called tax ID, Steueridentifikationsnummer, or on the other hand, the tax number, the so-called Steuernummer. But let's dive into the tax ID first. The tax ID is an 11-digit number assigned to every resident in Germany once in a lifetime. So it's the joke we make in Germany. We say the first letter a baby gets is the tax ID. So you get born, you also get taxed. This number is issued by the so-called Federal Central Tax Office, in German Bundeszentralamt für Steuern. And you need it for everything. You need it for employment. You need it for bank accounts. You need it for health insurance. And you need it for tax returns. These tax ID will be used in the future for some other projects too, but at the moment it's just for employment, bank accounts, health insurance and tax returns, but it should be in the future another number for other services. You get it if you register yourself at the city registration in Germany in the city you live, and then you will get this number, but we will come to this later. The number is signed to every person, including children in Germany. So it is the thing that you have taxable income or something like this, or have any funds or deposits or something like this. No, every children and every person living in Germany gets these numbers because this is the taxable system in Germany. But how do you get the tax ID? It's relatively easy. You go to your local Bürgeramt and then you register your address there. That say, hey, now I'm living in Germany, for example, in Munich, Berlin, and give them the address. Then within 1 to 3 weeks, you will receive your tax ID by post automatically. You don't have to do anything. That's a good service in Germany, but it's also the thing that they want to get your money or your taxes if you have an income. If you lost it, you can send get the number also from the so-called BZST. It's the Bundeszentralamt für Steuern. There you can tell them online, hey, I lost it. Please send it via mail or in the other case via post. But you don't have to separately apply for this number or do anything others, registration or something like this. That's not the thing. But if you want to work in Germany, you need this because of the wage taxes, the so-called Lohnsteuer. You have to get the tax ID and give it to your employer. But there's another number, and the other number is the so-called tax number. But what is it? The tax number, the so-called Steuernummer, is issued by your local tax office. And this is the different thing. The tax ID gets everyone who's in Germany because for bank accounts, insurance, or something like this. The tax number is the other number, and there you can have many. For example, some years ago, I had 6 different tax numbers. Why is this? This is the thing because you can have more incomes. For every business you run, you get on your personal status, you get another tax number. For example, if you have some investments, then you get another tax number for this. But you have to issue it at your local tax office. For example, if you're in Munich, then you have to go to the Munich tax office service, and then you get the number. This is also required if you have a German tax return. But the first tax return you can do without any tax number. You can get the tax number after you get the tax return, but this is not the normal way. Normal way, if you run a business or something like this, then you get the tax number up front because in some cases you have to put it up on your invoices if you write them to your customers. This tax number is essential for freelancers, self-employed, landlords, or other persons who have not like an employer or something who will take the wage taxes and transfer them to the Finanzamt, to the local tax office. For these persons who have people who are on their own, for example, freelancers, self-employed or something like this, they have to care about the taxes for themselves. The format is standardized, but it's also with numbers. There are local codes like which Bundesland, which land, then the district, then if you're a natural person or if you're in business, there are different types of numbers you can get there. But how do you get them? You will receive them if you file your first tax report, then you get a tax number. Or if you have the tax registration form, this is the so-called Fragebogen zur steuerlichen Erfassung. This you have to do if you start a business, and then you have to send it to the local tax office, and then they will send you the tax number back in paper. Yeah, welcome to Germany. So you can do it, this service. You can also do online via Elster. It's a digital service of the local tax services in most days. But the tax number takes up to 4 weeks in the worst case, because this will be manually made by an employer of the local tax office. This is, welcome to the bureaucracy of Germany. The key difference between these two numbers are called tax ID, permanent personal number for every resident. Tax number tied to your business or a special tax situation or something like this, or for example, some profit and loss sheets. So there are very differences, but you, the local tax office will do it on their own for you if you tell them what you're doing. Employees only need the tax ID for withholding the taxes and do the payroll, and freelancers need both because one is personal, the other one is tied to their business. But the most important thing is keep your numbers safe. Yes, also, if you have to give them to banks or insurances or something like this, don't put them up anywhere. There are some legal issues. You have to put it on your website if you're a business, but check first which one you have to do it. Normally, the tax number is the best thing. Don't put up your tax ID. If you're a business, then most people take up their value-added tax ID. That's another number, which is an international business number, because this is a legal thing for the so-called Impressumspflicht. But this is too very special for people who are coming to Germany. So get your tax advisor. And it's two numbers. You have to know about them. The tax ID is probably the norm thing you get if you're coming to Germany, for example, like a student, an expat, or work and travel or something like this. This is the standard procedure. The other one, you can say, okay, leave it out. Just if you want to start a business, then you need it. In all other cases, the tax ID is the thing you need. And this you will get if your registration is done at the local city offices. So you have another question, just keep it up in the comments below, and I wish you a happy day.